Gentleman's,
what goes around comes around.
the gentleman's time has expired.
Chairwoman, okay.
I now recognize Mr. Jack from Georgia for 5
Chairwoman,
minutes.
I just want to make clear
Thank you,
that what
Madam
goes
Chair,
around can come
and
around.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As one of two Georgians on this committee, yourself included, Madam Chair, I'd like to first rebut the charge from one of our Democrat colleagues that we are today trying to politically tear down Stacey Abrams. To remind our Democrat colleagues, Madam Chair, a majority of Georgia voters have twice rejected Stacey Abrams, in 2018 by 2%, in 2022 by 8%. So there's no need for this committee to politically tear down Stacey Abrams when the people of Georgia already have. But this committee is focused on eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse across our government. And again, the purpose of our hearing today is to talk about waste, fraud, and abuse among non-governmental organizations or nonprofits. And if I could start, Ms. Yentl, as the president and CEO of the National Council of Nonprofits, is it fair to characterize your organization as an informed source of data for nonprofits and NGOs?
Sorry, yes, sir.
And how many, just an estimate, how many NGOs receive a majority of their money from the government as opposed to citizens, to the best of your knowledge?
The latest number I saw is that about 27% of nonprofit organizations receive federal funding.
Does it concern you at all that a non-governmental organization is receiving a majority of its funding from the government?
Well, I didn't say it was the majority. Let me correct myself. Thank you. 27% of nonprofit organizations receive some of their funding from the federal government. It doesn't concern me, no. The federal government appropriates funds to be used for specific purposes, and they often partner with nonprofit organizations who are best equipped and able to meet local needs with that funding.
Mr. Walter, in your opening statement and your written testimony as well, I think you addressed this. Could you inform and expound upon the issue that I see, and I always think you see, that a non-governmental organization is receiving a majority of its funding from the government? To me, that's totally contrary to the title of the organization itself.
Sure, and the statistic from Candid, which is a nonprofit group, is about 35,000 receive the majority of their funding from government. And that is obviously a dangerous thing. Now, some of them may do good work, but of course, as everybody in Washington, D.C. knows, if you're getting federal dollars, you deserve a lot of scrutiny. The idea that they should just be passed over without scrutiny is quite unreasonable.
Without question. I'm sorry, I'm going to continue on my line of questioning. Thank you. Mr. Krikorian, I want to also give you an opportunity just to affirm for the record. I know one of our Democrat colleagues tried to suggest that you were immune from DOJ cuts. I heard you loud and clear, though. The funding and the contracts with Department of Justice and the Census Bureau were, to your point, decades ago. You're not receiving government funding right now.
No.
Thank you. So earlier today, Mr. Krikorian, we had the administrator of the Small Business Administration testify before the Small Business Committee. And the reason I mentioned that is one of the issues we talked about was trying to turn off and eliminate the incentive structure that rewarded illegal immigration over the last 4 years under Joe Biden's administration. Specifically, we talked about relocating small business offices from sanctuary cities or sanctuary jurisdictions to jurisdictions that honor federal law enforcement law and immigration law. And I bring that up because I'd love for you in these last 90 seconds to walk us through what happened these last 4 years. If you want to look at the incentive structure that rewarded illegal immigration, I suspect you could look no further than a lot of nonprofits that operated on our southern border. So would welcome thoughts for you in closing in this hearing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole point of enforcing immigration law is to make it impractical to live here as an illegal immigrant. In other words, it's not even just not rewarding, obviously it's that, but it's also to make it difficult. It's why you shouldn't get driver's licenses for illegal immigrants, that sort of thing. And so what nonprofit groups during the previous administration did, and frankly even before that, was to make it practical, to make it easier for illegal immigrants to live here illegally, thereby kind of undoing any deterrent effect or any incentive to self-deport, to go home. And so that's one of the things that we need to reverse, is to not just take away the incentives, but to make it impractical to remain here so that people will take the administration up on its offer of a free plane ticket home and $1,000 when you get home. There has to be some reason you want to do that. What a lot of nonprofit groups have done is take away the incentive to go home, and that needs to change.
And by the way, 70 to 75% of Americans agree and support President Trump's immigration policies. House Republicans border priorities. Just closing number from you in statistic. Can you estimate over the last 4 years how much taxpayer money was funding, to your point, the incentive structure we're trying to eliminate today?
I wish I had a number, but it's all over it's billions, but I have no idea how much exactly.
Billions of dollars. With that, Madam Chair, I yield.
The gentleman yields.